he knows some stuff about dozens and baker's dozen. Do we want to hear about that? Do we?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So, you see, back in the day, they sold stuff and whatnot in 12, because 12 is just a really good number. It has the most possible divisors of any number under 18. So it's a really, really good number. And so one of the first ever counting systems before we had the one we have today, which is base 10, they had one called duodecimal, which was base 12. And so back in the day, people sold loaves of bread, which is like the main baker thing that people sold back then, because everybody eats bread.
Yes.
It was a popular American food product.
Yes.
And so they would sell them in loaves of 12. They would sell 12 loaves at a time, which is a lot.
12 loaves.
Yeah. But back in like the 1800s, there was this big problem where bakers were ripping off people intentionally or unintentionally, we're not sure.
Oh no.
But the reason was because there was no price for wheat perfectly, and you could never tell how much wheat was in each loaf. You could never calculate that. So there was this big issue where everyone was getting ripped off by the amount of wheat per bread. People were getting ripped off bad. So there was an act created by the British government, because back then the U.S. wasn't a thing, called the Bread and Ales Act. And what that did is it set the price for wheat, and that in turn set the price for bread.
Ale like in beer?
Ale,
Probably
yeah.
because wheat, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, in turn, it set the price for bread. And you see, since people didn't want to get in trouble, and it's impossible to calculate how much wheat is in it, because if they get the amount of wheat wrong, for how much it costs, they could get in a lot of trouble. They could have their hand cut off, their ear cut off, and stapled to a door. A lot of bad things could happen to you if you were caught breaking the law. So instead of selling 12, they would throw in an extra one for free, so that every time they would, not break the law. I don't get, however, why they don't do this with donuts, because donuts are a baked good.
Yes.
And so we should always get one extra free donut.
Oh, that's right. They're yummy too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So give us extra free donuts.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Okay. That's all. That's all, folks. That's all, folks.